Hello everybody, this is Evan Carthy from evancarthy.com. Today we are going to take a look at the NQ, the E-mini Nasdaq 100, and also the stock Facebook and see what is going on with those two things. So let's look at the charts. Alright, so here we have the NQ, and what we're looking at here is the daily chart. So I just wanted to show you this real quick. This is already a move from the lightning trade setup that just got completed today. Here you can see down here, we're using this pivot point right here. We're using this pivot point right here. Price broke out, started the lightning trade, never went up and hit the 127 Fibonacci extension at 78.70. Came back down, hit the 38, never came back in 100%, and then kept on going down, down, down. Hit the 0% the other way, which moves the exit just below the 50% Fibonacci retracement level, which would have been around 68.87. Went down some more. Looks like it hit the 127, 143 the opposite way. Let's look at it here real quick. Yeah, in between the 127, 143. And then bounced back up. And then just today came back and completed this trade. So this was kind of similar to the ES, to where it had that kind of a little bit good sharp move down, now has bounced up really nicely to it. But since it has gone and completed that move up right there, this move for the lightning trade to the upside is over. So let's remove these drawings right here. As you can see now, for the downside, there's really nothing going on here for the daily chart as well, because this one already went and got filled, broke out, hit the 127 easily, so that's over. So there right now there's no longer term trend either way, especially to the downside. The only one would be to the upside, where if you zoom back out and we use that pivot point, and then we can keep on going down, like we can use that pivot point right there. So as you can see right here, if you keep on going down and moving different pivot points, because this still is a valid lightning trade here, broke out up of it, came down, hit 38, and is bouncing back up. So right now, if you are in the NQ or whatever you're looking at doing, my bias long term, based upon where it is right now, is to the upside. And the exit would be just below 75.38. Right now it's at 69.08. So that's where it'd be right now. It doesn't mean that price couldn't continue to go back down, go back down, go back down. If it hits down at the 0% Fibonacci level, down around 41.49, 41.50, then the exit would get moved to just below 58.44. But right now, from where it's at, the nearest exit based upon the setup is just below the 100% Fibonacci level at 75.38, around there. So if you are in it, I'm slightly more bullish than I am bearish for it. But that doesn't mean that price could stall right here and go back down. I mean, here you have, look at the MFI down here. You have price is gone, kind of knocked up against the overbought territory a couple times. It's continuing to go up, so it's starting to make some divergences with it. So like I always say, it doesn't mean that if the MFI is overbought, that is definitely going to go straight back down, or if it's oversold, it's going to go straight back up. It's just a guide I like to use to see where it is. Because I can see, like, look at it right here. Here it is overbought, and it barely even went down, just kept on going up and up and up and up. So it is just a guide and something to look for. But when you do start seeing divergences to it, like here you had one right there, pretty close to it, then it started going down. It could start signaling this slowdown of the uptrend. But for right now, for where it is, slightly bullish on it, looking at the exit being just below 75.38. But let's go to the 5-minute chart, because for the short term, I'm actually more bearish for it than I am for the long term. I'll show you the reason why here. So using these two pivot points right here, Thinkorswim will quit jumping around. Using these two pivot points right here, let me show you. So we use that one. Let me draw the 38.50 retracement box here. And there we go. So based upon this 5-minute chart, short-term trade right here, what we have is this lightning trade set up using this pivot point and that pivot point. Price came, broke out, initiated it, never came down to hit the 127 to complete it, down around 66.03. got to about around 66.16, then started pulling back, hit the 38, so that moves the exit down to 66.48, but never went down to hit it, hit the 100% or the 0%, whichever way you want to call it, and so that would put the exit just above 67.29, so to be safe, it'd be about like 67.34, something like that, and it's continuing to go up the other way. So this is why for the short term, I am bearish on the NQ. I think the odds are of a pullback happening are greater than it continuing to go up. If we look at the Fibonacci retracement levels the other way, we can see that there was some stoppage between the 127 and 143, but now it's shot back up and now it's starting to pull back a little bit more. So if you're looking for it for the near term, if I was trading this, I'm not trading the NQ, don't have any plans to in the near future either. I would be looking to short this right now. And let me remove this John right here again. Yeah, so I'd be looking at shorting right now. I think there's a lot more potential for it going to the near term to the downside. Right now it's at 69.05, and like I said, my the main exit looking at would be around 67.34. So it definitely has some room to move back down here in the short term. So based upon where the long-term move of it is, slightly bullish on that, looking for it going up to, I think it was around the, I don't remember what I said, I have to go back and look, but for the 5-minute chart, definitely bearish on the short term and looking at it going back down to around 67.34, 67.35. And then we'll go back here and look at the longer term chart again. And based upon where it is right now, slightly bullish on it just because it's closer to exiting up here around 75.38 than it is all the way going down to the 0% level down at 41.49, which would move the X back down below the 50%. So that's where it is with NQ. Short term, definitely looking at bearish and looking at the exit mentioned just a little bit ago. All right, let's take a look at Facebook here, see what's going on. Yeah, so here we have Facebook. This is the 10-year chart. Again, this lightning trade setup using this pivot down here, this pivot up here, broke it up, came close to hit the 127%, never hit it around $224. Had a big move down, continue to go down, 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 down. So since it hit the 38, the exit we're looking at is just below 195. And today, shot up, huge gap right here. So thing about gaps is they get filled about 90% of the time. So definitely we'll be looking for a retracement here. But here you have a big old gap up here that still needs to get filled all the way from 190 up to about 214. So it's looking like for the short term as well, I would expect a little bit of a pullback right here, because here you have a look at the MFI right here. It's oversold, came back. It's making a lower high. Well, this made a higher high right here, so you have that divergence. So could signal that there's going to be a little bit more of a pullback here in the short term. But what the exit you're looking for is going to be just below 195. So say 194 to be safe. So currently where stock is right now, 168. The exit I'd be looking at getting out based upon my lightning trade setup is 194. So don't like that huge gap right there. Definitely looking at that eventually get filled down to 150, but you also have this big gap up here. But based upon what it is lightning trade, the exit looking at currently is 194. And then let's look at the shorter term here. I think I was going to look at the 1 hour chart, because this thing has an interesting chart as well. So using these pivot points right here, that one and that one. Let's remove some of this stuff over here. All right, so this is going to be to the short side of the lightning trade right here. So this is kind of similar to the NQ setup, what Facebook is doing right here. It looks very similar. For the longer term time frame, the daily chart, slightly more bullish on it, especially since Facebook has that big gap to the upside. But with the shorter term time frame, I'm bearish on it. So as you can see right here, price broke out, created the lightning trade, initiated it, never came down, hit the 127, which would have completed it. Came back up, hit the 38, never came back down, hit the 0, kept going up. Now it hit the other way, the 100 or the 0, whatever. And so now that moves the exit down to just above 141. So we'll call it just a little bit above it, 142.50, 143, just be safe to get out of it. So currently our price is sitting at right now 168. I have no plans of getting in Facebook, but if I did trade it, I'd be looking at shorting it or buying some puts or whatever. You can see the other way. It's gone up there, hung up between the 127 and 143 Fibonacci extension level. So definitely for the short term, I am bearish on Facebook. Looking for it to go back down to about 142.50 from where it is right now up here at 168. And then once that gets completed, there's no reason why it can't continue to go back up for the longer term time frame for right here. But if it does come down and complete that, then that would complete, zoom in a little bit more right here. That would come back down. It would fill that gap very nicely. Go ahead, and there's actually a tiny little gap right here. It'd come pretty close completing that. And then I would have no problem seeing it going back up as well. Yeah, that's my ghetto arrow right there. So for it going back up to wherever the exit was, I had it before. I think it was going like 194, 195, something like that. So short term, more bearish on Facebook, but in the longer term, I could see it rising back up and eventually going back up and filling that big gap that it has from 189 up to about 213. So there you go. That's it for Facebook and the NQ. Slightly bearish short term, a little bit more bullish on the longer term time frame. Hope that helps. If you want to see me go over anything, feel free to let me know. Thanks. Have a good one.